Retired Lieutenant General Winston Sikauke Mapranga has warned the current serving military generals of falling to the trap of being bribed by Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa, reminding them how Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa betrayed about 52, to be precisely, generals that carried out a military coup. All these generals, as we are speaking at the moment, they are 6 feet under, most of them at the National Heroes Acre. And the one of the surviving generals is none other than retired General Chiwenga. So there is a lot of the speculation as to why exactly Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa convened members of the Joint Operation Command to his precable farm in Zimbabwe. Questions are coming left, right, and center regarding that particular issue. And he says, fellow, he didn't write, it's not, it's a very, very short and precise statement. Fellow generals and war veterans, massive bribes from Emerson Mnangagwa buy only temporal silence. So in simple terms, he's saying you may be bribed today by Mnangagwa, but this is just for you to keep quiet temporarily. It's not a permanent solution. Temporarily, you may act like wise and enjoy the bribe, but the long-term consequences involve your life being claimed by Mnangagwa. He goes on to say his plan is clear: retire every war veteran in the army this year. Fact, not rumor. So he goes on to say Mnangagwa is on a plan to retire all the war veterans within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces, so that he remains with the bond freeze within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. And I think when he remains with the bond freeze, then he could easily promote his own son. And when he has promoted his own son, it will be easier to govern or lead the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. No one would be telling him about war, liberation war credentials, as we are hearing from the retired general. So he is telling them of a plan that Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is on top of, that he is aiming at getting rid of all the ex-combatants within the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. And I was just explaining that that only serves the purpose of making sure that when his son eventually leads the military, he would have actually gotten rid of the war veterans, and he could potentially lead people without liberation credentials. So he goes on to say he betrayed VP Chiwenga and has already assassinated 52 generals who installed him in 2017. So he's speaking. I always tell people who are laughing with Mnangagwa at the moment, even the ministers, that this is not a trusted man. Look at what was happening between him and retired General Chiwenga, leading to the coup of 2017. All seemed to be well until Mnangagwa was sworn in as the president, and he didn't wait for even more than a year. The military generals were tackling to actually get rid of him, and in fact he retaliated, and many of them are lying at the National Heroes Camp. And Chiwenga could have joined them, but by the grace of God, he is alive. Nobody knows whether that poison was completely flushed out or it is still working on him. So this is, in simple terms, who Emerson Tambutso Mnangagwa is. He cannot really be trusted. Are the current military generals alive to that reality? Or they will just consider what the man is offering. He can actually offer billions, millions to a personality to get what he wants, because he knows it is worthy more billions, or most probably trillions, and it would be a good inheritance for his children. Just imagine if he converts Zimbabwe to be a Munu Mutapa state, and later on, if he installs himself as a king, that means all the presidents that we will be getting in Zimbabwe would be actually Mnangagwa the second. Mnangagwa, I don't know the title. How embarrassing that would be. This has been the dream of this man, and that is what retired Lieutenant General Winston Sikauke Mapranga is trying to put across to the retired generals. He says, do not be next. Your oath is to the Constitution and not to one man. Stay vigilant. So he is a warning. It's a serious warning that don't fall to this trap. Don't dig your own grave. Because don't ever think that he has dealt with 52 retired generals and you are actually safe. You are not safe at all. This is the most dangerous man. He could potentially eliminate you. And then in the picture that I have put here, you will notice something very strange. I don't know whether many people noticed that, especially in the picture that I put as portrait. The so-called members of the Joint Operation Command are seen speaking, and Mnangagwa is seen also attempting to climb at the back of a van. The van, which is usually used by military personnel that are guarding him. What was potentially happening there? Because there is a motorcade for the president, and the president has his own vehicle. And other generals are seen still speaking, and Mnangagwa is heading to that van. Is it because the man was not able to walk through these these active serving members of the Joint Operation Command, or maybe he forgot that he was still speaking? Is it dementia taking its toll? I saw other people speaking about pondering around this matter. It's food for thought. We are still waiting to hear exactly as to what was the purpose of that particular meeting. As you know, things continues to trickle in. There is a lot that is happening behind the scenes, as I have predicted. Things may not seem to be actually announced, and Zimbabweans may not be aware of certain things. But there is a lot that is going on at the moment behind the scenes for both factions. There is a lot of maneuvering. The other is for 2030 term extension, and the other one seeks to thwart this faction that looks forward to mutilate the constitution of Zimbabwe. So the retired Lieutenant General Winston Sikauke Mapranga warning the retired generals that, remember, you did not take oath to protect one person. You took oath to protect the constitution of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Do not allow yourself to find yourself falling trap of the bribes. The bribes that may be temporary, that can bring what we call temporary safety, but the long-term consequences may be dire. And precisely showing how Mnangagwa has treated some previous military generals that assisted him. As we are speaking at the moment, 52 retired generals. They are actually in the graves at the moment as we speak. And most of them, they were dying very, very suspicious death. You will hear the other one was well and he just collapsed. They were dying very, very mysterious deaths, lining up to the National Heroes Acre. And this is the worry of retired Lieutenant General Winston Sikauke Mapranga, that the current retired generals should really be vigilant and not fall to that trap, which may be consequential. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancuba Mhlabane is signing off.